Hi everyone, I'm Jason. Today I'm going to show you how to do Cambrance effect in After Effects, and it's going to be really handy for your video. So let me just show you what is Cambrance effect. A Cambrance effect is basically there's actually two kind of Cambrance effect: a 2D Cambrance and 3D Cambrance. It's basically you have a still image and then you zoom in and moving the image at the same time to give it more kind of dynamic and to make the viewers more engaging. And you can see 2D is basically just scale and zoom, but 3D you have kind of the three-dimensionality cool stuff in it. I'm just gonna do 2D Cambrance effect because I think that'll be enough for our um, project here. And 3D is really difficult to do, and I don't think that's um, that's gonna improve the video a lot. Okay, so first I'm gonna introduce the demo files and basically what I want to do with these images. So I have two images here, a site plan, an aerial view from Google Earth, and then I want to zoom in to this side, the sledding hill over here, which is actually in the Frick Park. Um, and then I want to transition to this kind of drawings that has lots of information. So that's why I want to use the video to kind of capture, to show the information one by one. I actually want to start at the top left corner, which is a kind of a site plan, but with a smaller scale to show the basic information. And then I kind of want to move my position here to here, and then zoom in to this more detailed site plan drawing. And finally, I want to move down to show the side section. So 3 steps. First, the image, I want to zoom in, and then I want to transition myself to this image, and then move myself over here, and then move down. Okay, so let's see how to do it using Cambrance effect. So first I create a new composition, and you can name it whatever you want. I'm just calling it demo Cambrance. Let's click OK, and then let's import all the images. I'm gonna do them in a folder called drawing because it's easier to organize my file this way. And then I just click import file, and then I select these two files, and then I click import, and then drag them in the folder. So right now all my images are in the drawings folder. So first I wanna zoom in this image, so let's drag them here, and let's drag them here. And then so what I want to do is to zoom in. The way to do this is really simple. First, let's kind of position. You see there's back borders here. Let's move it larger so that it looks better basically. And maybe move it so that the sledding hill is centered. Okay, so I kind of want to start off here, and then you see this little gray arrow. If you click down, you see transform, and that's where we're gonna change all the motion data about this image. You see there's a lots of stuff here, but all we need to do is change the scale. And the way you keyframe or change the scale in After Effects is you first click this little clock icon, and it's gonna record the initial scale of this image, and then you can move this timeline um, over. For example, I want this to increase its scale from 0 to 6 seconds, and then I can zoom in. I can increase the image by clicking this, holding shift, so it's kind of increasing it uniformly. And maybe I kind of want to kind of here stop here, which is, and then you see it automatically creates a second keyframe recording the new scale. So if you see here, when I press play, it is already increasing the scale, and that's basically Cambrance effect. And it's that simple actually. So what if I also want to move my stuff? It's actually the same thing. You see this position here. If, for example, I want to start here, which I don't know why, but let's just do it. I click this time clock icon. It records the initial position, and then, for example, I want to end here, and then you see it's also automatically creating a new a new keyframe icon to record the new position. And also you see this line, it kind of shows the motion path it's going through, which is really kind of convenient to see. And then you see when I press play, it's increasing while moving from down to up. Okay, that's really nice. And now let's do our second step, which is to transition this photo to this complex site plan. Actually, you see here, because I'm using a PDF, and then the way I do it is all the information, you see it's kind of transparent, and I don't want that. So let's quickly create a new shape layer. Let's drag this below, and then let's just draw. Let's click this icon, which is a fill icon that draws a rectangle basically. And if you drag this, you see this purple border. Um, that's the size of the rectangle, and you just create this, and then you fill this to normal. Okay, let's drag this down, and then hide this. You see here, add a shape layer of a white rectangle, which makes the drawing looks nicer. And then here, I said I want to start off with this image here. So there's two ways to approach it. The first way is what I said before. I use position to move myself from here to first initialize it here, and then kind of move it from the top left corner to the center. But I'm not gonna do that because position, if you do position and scale together, it's gonna be kind of inconvenient sometimes. So I'm gonna just show you why is that. So let's just let's click this selection tool and then move our stuff here, and then say, oh, I want to scale this. Oh, but you see here, the image is off center again. So I'm gonna do this here, and I'm gonna scale this. It's also off the, it's still off center. So I'll keep doing this. You see here, you see the reason. It's because when I move my image, it's gonna move this point, which is the anchor point. The scaling all happens and all scales from the anchor point. So if I move my anchor point here, it's gonna scale the position of my image, especially when it's really at the corner of this, really at the corner of the image, which is like this example. So a better way to do it is to actually change the anchor point itself. So I'm gonna reset everything like this, and then okay, let's reset everything, and then let's hide this. Okay, really nice. All right, I've just resetted everything, the position of this image, and then the scale won't be a problem. It's just the problem with the position. So I'm first gonna check if the anchor point is in the center of this image, which seems that it's not right now. And whenever you kind of want to change the anchor point, it will be really nice to keep it in the exact center of the frame. So the way to do it is that you see here, it's the dimension of this image. You can just change this in half so that it will automatically set the anchor point to the exact position. So just divide the width by 2, and then you divide the height by 2. So it's gonna set the anchor point in this exact position. And then oh, sorry, actually, my bad. The position should be, so actually the anchor point will always stay in the center, but the center of this image, the larger frame, but you want this anchor point to move to the center of this, the scene, basically. And the way to do it is actually change the position. So right now it's not centered, because you see here, if I move this here, it changes the position. I want the position to move it to the exact center, so it's the anchor point will also stay in the center, basically. So the way I would do it is because this border is 90/20 by 1080, so I'm just gonna do 90/20 divided by 2, and then 1080 divided by 2. So that's gonna ensure the anchor point stays at the exact center of this border, which is gonna be really handy to do. And then, so first I'm just gonna do the same thing. So actually I'm gonna, okay, so the way you move your anchor point is not like dragging this, because you see if you drag this, it just changes the position. The way you move your anchor point is go to here, you drag these values. It's a little bit inconvenient, I know, but it's gonna be convenient later on when you kind of do the scaling stuff. So I'm just gonna move my anchor point to the sort of square over here, to the exact square over here, and then I record the anchor point and I want to scale it. So that's where you will see it's handy. You see it's always scaling from the anchor point. So it's not gonna change the position of this large site plan. And so I've recorded my initial information about the position, and then I think I wanna stay here for a while for the readers to know where this place is. So I'm just gonna go here and then click this button. This is add or remove a keyframe, but if you don't change the information, it's just gonna copy its previous keyframe, which is this one. So you see here, even if I drag the timeline, it's not gonna change everything. So I give the time, give like 2 seconds, I don't know, for the readers to know. We can adjust later on. And then I want to move my anchor point to a new position. So I drag this value again. I want to move it down to the sort of center of this um, the larger drawing, and I want to scale down a little bit. Okay, let's try to position our anchor point at the exact center of this rectangle so that it's easier to see. And then I scale this way. Cool. So you see, After Effects is smart. It already records the new position of the anchor point and the scale information. And finally, I want to move down to see the side section. So first, I'm going to do the same thing, like 2 seconds around for copying the previous anchor point in scale. And then I'm going to move myself here and then go down a little bit. So it's the same thing. I drag the anchor point down to sort of here. And then maybe I want to scale it furthermore. So adjust my scaling factor a little bit. Okay, so that's basically everything that I want to do. Let's see how this looks. So let's start off here. Okay, we have our first aerial photo image, and okay, it might be a little bit slow, but okay, it switches to this one, and then I give them some time to read, and then it goes down to the exact position of the new site plan, and then 2 seconds for them to understand, and then it goes down again. Okay, really nice. But I kind of want to adjust some of the information just to make everything look smoother. So I think there's too much time for them to read. So I can just adjust some of these things for prove these keyframes closer so that it's gonna move faster basically. And then also this photo, it's just moving so slow to me. But you can change it whenever you want. I'm just gonna do it this way. And then let's see. Okay, now it's much better, I feel like. Let's check this one. It's giving some time for them to read and then move it over. Okay, nice. And then it's the same thing. Oh, I forget to drag this one. Let's just quickly do it. Okay, sounds good. Maybe around here. Let's check this again. Okay, pretty much. And then I'm just gonna do a quick transition from this image to this one, so that it just looks smoother. And the way to do it is also really easy. You see the opacity icon here, it just basically changes the opacity of everything. You click this, right now it's 100, and let's say I want to end around here, and then I want to change the new opacity to 0, and then I adjust my stuff here so that whenever I transition myself to the old one, whenever I show the new site plan, it's gonna slowly fade out to show the new image. So let's see our changes over here. So it zooms in and then fades out, really nice, and then goes to the new image, really good. Nice. Now everything's working with our Cambrance effect. A last step I'm gonna do is which is gonna make this even look better, is to actually adding some ease in, ease out effect so that everything looks smoother. So if you see this graph editor here and I click this, and if I click the position and scale, you see kind of a function graph that's changing the position. I'm not gonna do lots of complexing to it, but if you see this icon easy ease, you click it, it's gonna add a curve effect so that when it starts moving, it's gonna move slower, and also when it's about to end its moving, it's gonna move slower. So it just makes everything look smoother and better. Also, I'm gonna do the same thing with scale and opacity. Yeah, I think opacity you can just do the typical. It's not gonna change a lot. So just Control Z, nice. And then if I select multiple icons, you see I can see multiple graphs. So I'm gonna do just gonna pick everything that's changing. This. Okay, then add ease in. Okay, and these two guys. Nice. Okay, let's go back to this graph and then see how everything looks right now. So I'm gonna, okay, let's check. Okay, you see everything's smoother and looks better basically with our ease in and ease out. Move to the new image. Nice. And then it goes down. Cool. Now it's really kind of showing a really nice demonstration of the site plan, which has lots of information, but I kind of show this one by one in a video to make everything looks nice. And I'm just gonna name it demo. Just gonna replace my older one. Okay. I think that's pretty much for Cambrance effect. If you want to learn more, I would recommend you to take a look at a YouTube video called Cambrance drifting and scaling stuff. I'm just gonna search it up for you guys. So Cambrance scale and drift.
Have you considered going solar and Penn?
Sorry, this is where I get my information from. I think this is a really handy information. If you guys don't understand anything that I said in this video, just take a look at this one. It's gonna really help. But I think, yeah, that's pretty much. Thank you guys, and hope you guys good luck in your final project.